Our next guest has built a huge online following with his vintage-inspired covers of rock and pop hits, and here's a taste.
I'm so fancy, can't you taste this gold? Remember my name, I said, baby, I do this, I thought that you knew this. Can't say no haters, and honest, the truth is. Because you know I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, La-da-dee-da-dee, we like to party, dancing with Miley, doing whatever we want. This is our house, this is our rules, and we can't stop. And we won't stop. You see, it's we who
Love that, right?
Wow.
All right, we're joining us now to talk about his group, Postmodern Jukebox, as musician Scott Bradlee. Welcome to Arise.
Hey, thanks, guys.
How do you make that Miley Cyrus song sound so amazing? How is that possible?
A lot of people ask these kind of questions. You know, for me, what's most interesting for me is taking a song that is familiar to a lot of people and changing it in some kind of way that's still, where the lyrics still kind of make sense, you know, and the thing is that when we did that song, you know, that was what the song she did on the VMAs. It was a big scandal. It was all crazy and controversy and everything.
Right.
So I decided to, well, what would it be if we took that song and made it into a doo-wop song, which is like the most sanitized kind of era, you know, ever.
Right.
And it still works, which is the crazy part.
It works even better.
Actually, all of your songs work very well as they transition into a different genre. How did you come up with this concept to begin with?
So it was like something I did as a kid. When I grew up, I was into jazz and I was into like ragtime and all these kind of music, you know, that you can imagine my friends weren't really into that kind of music when I was in high school. So, but I would take things, yeah, you can see, right?
Yeah.
But I would take things like gangster rap songs, like, you know, we'd play some Notorious B.I.G. as jazz or something. So I had been doing this dead serious. I used to do this
jazz.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
So I used to do this as a kid, and now I get paid to do it, which is kind of awesome.
And so how does it work? You gather a group of like-minded musicians together. Do you break down the song and then have them just divvy out the parts, the melodies? How does it walk us through the process? So
basically we have kind of a rotating cast, you know, that I bring on tours with us, maybe 50, 60 odd musicians. And I'll usually kind of come up with an idea for an arrangement, and I'll pitch it to one of the vocalists that we have. You know, maybe somebody that, maybe if I want to do like a blues style version of something, and so I find somebody that's a blues singer, and we kind of work on it, you know, come up with some ideas, kick around some ideas for an arrangement, build it out, then we bring the musicians in, and we shoot a video, and we record it kind of in my living room. You know, it's not really that hi-fi. It's more of just, it's more like a MacGyver setup, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that really works for us because we want to have that like intimate feel. We want people to feel like they're in my living room listening to all these amazing musicians just turning magic, you know, out of these songs.
Well, why do you think that these vintage sounds like ragtime, jazz, blues work so well when mixed with modern songs?
Well, it's kind of interesting when you look at the lyrics of these songs and you compare it to lyrics that were in the 1920s. It's a lot of the same subjects. It's always like songs about dancing or like partying or love songs. So in some ways, there's like nothing new under the sun. And I think there's also kind of like a nostalgia that this stuff taps into. Like even if you weren't born, even I didn't grow up in the 50s or 60s or anything. I have no idea what that's like, but there's still like a nostalgia. When you hear those songs, it kind of takes you back to an era, even if you haven't lived in that era.
And you're seeing a lot of that now, even with Meghan Trainors of the world. Amy Winehouse was huge. Adele brought it also.
Absolutely. It's all coming back.
So it's all
and in fact, that's like the hardest thing. Like, you know, a song like Uptown Funk, that's the hardest one. We won't even try covering that because it's already retro. It's already like vintage. So it's like, good job. You already postmodern jukeboxed it.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, how do you pick which songs to cover? Is it just whatever's hot right now?
We're kind of biased towards things that are hot that you know are familiar to a lot of people. But sometimes we'll dip into some older songs. You know, we did a version of No Diggity by Blackstreet,
I saw that.
and we did kind of like a Jessica Rabbit like torch song take, and we do it on tour live, and it's a huge hit. And even though it's not like a current, You'll have to check it out on YouTube to find out.
Now, really
They're
quickly,
there.
if I don't ask this question, our writer Teddy will be very upset. So
Fair
you
enough.
also create music for video games, is that correct?
I have
Okay.
done. I did
And-
some music in BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
And then-
what was that like? That world like for you?
Well, that was awesome. That
Mm-hmm.
was such a fun project to be a part of. It's working with a really creative team, and in fact, some of the singers that I use on Postmodern Jukebox were also on BioShock Infinite too.
BioShock
So,
Infinite. All
yeah.
right. So what's the next cover going to be?
Oh, I can't spoil the surprise.
Oh, come on.
But I'll tell you what, it comes out every Thursday. Every Thursday on my
Thursday.
channel, there's a new cover.
And you guys are going on tour as well, doing a
Yeah,
live
we're in the
show,
middle
right?
of the tour. Our tour was just like pulled in like an hour ago. So I just like raced here. I haven't showered in several days, but I did put on a fancy suit.
Don't worry about it. Your
That's
clothes
okay.
smells good.
It's a big room. It's all right.
So when and where can we catch you?
So we're going to be at Best Buy Theater. We're playing there tomorrow night, but it's sold out. But we added a second show on May 12th.
Really?
So right here in New York City.
So can we get the hookup?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
We'll be backup dancers. We can't
you go.
sing,
Yes,
but we'll
yes.
be backup dancers.
That's right. We need
Alrighty.
some like yeah.
Get our swing on. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much
Like
for
that.
joining us. And we'll be looking for the next one on Thursday.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds good.
All
Okay.
right.
Cool.
And we'll be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.
All about that bass.